Okay, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, so yeah, let's just continue. I guess I was just talking about, my own thoughts and yeah, I'd like you to speak on that if you would.
Okay, well, we were again, where were we, Chris? Remind me,
Keeping it
please.
simple.
Okay, there we go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of my favorite sayings, I think it's Oliver Wendell Holmes. I couldn't give a fig for the simplicity on the near side of complexity, but I'd give my left arm for the simplicity on the far side of complexity. And that's been one of my mottos, okay? So I'm not educated, honest to God. I don't have an MBA. I don't have you know, any kind of college, even hardly, a little bit of psychology. But it was that open mind that allowed me to just listen and learn, and like I say, it took quite a while of listening and then digging and reading and talking to other people as well. It wasn't just this one man. I'm not going to say that. It wasn't just Grantham Taylor Hughes. So, you know, can I help other people to learn it faster? Yes, I believe I can, because even with Grantham, you could tell there was like rabbit holes that he'd give you one piece of the puzzle and then I'll go look under the couch for the rest. And it was he did that on purpose. I know he did, because most of this knowledge is handed down. There's very few people that have the, I don't know, I'm going to use the word patience to learn it, because it it can get overwhelming in our minds, and we're so indoctrinated, especially people that have gone to legal school, lawyers, and even bankers that have economics degrees or master's degrees or whatever, like to shift that information in this computer that we have is challenging. But mine was pretty empty. I thought about cows, and don't get me wrong, you know, I was in the business of cattle for a lot of years, and ask me about conjugated linoleic acid, or the bovine spongiform encephalopathy. I can rip along on that pretty good, but my mind was very virgin into this idea of credit business myself. I went overseas into Asia and Southeast Asia chasing after that dream for a few trips, and you want to talk about dangerous, that's and again, like, why? Because of ownership. People, my gold, like, so I'm going to use a gun to protect it. Well, that's why I love this fiat system. We just have to make some adjustments. And that was a real big part of why Grantham and I got along so well, was because he said too, he says, you know, why would you ever want to go back to gold when we've got this? And his promotion on, and you can see it on his website, like, he's fairly public man. He's got a, I forget what he calls his foundation, but if you Google Grantham Taylor Hughes, you'll find information on the man. He's very public. He's got some blog talk radio shows from a few years ago that he explains the process, and he's very repetitive. You know, I'm going into more details now than he does in some of his blog talk radio shows. He keeps it very simple. He talks about sovereignty and affianchetto, he calls it, which is basically not, this idea of economic demolition, but not hurting people. So what we refer to as war in the Middle East, well, he thinks, and I think too, that that's just demolition, and people still fighting over a little bit of mine and ours, but it's just destruction, so that you can keep that system going, that illusion that we need petroleum based technology. Like, we've been stuck there too long, like, it's just ridiculous. And Grantham had some wonderful technologies himself. Like, he's got his specialties, which is, relostatics and some beautiful technology ideas. So, kind of spinning off again, I apologize, but it's hard to explain a lot of this stuff. But let's get back to um, the the sovereignty certificate once more, and kind of slow things down a little bit and maybe end it before too long, Chris. I know, you know, it's hard for people to sit for a long time these days. There's so much information coming at everybody every direction, and I appreciate that. And I keep my videos down under 15 minutes when I do them on a daily basis now, and speed them up if you have to. I talk generally fairly slow, so depending on how much time people have to study this kind of paradigm or whatever you want to call it, just you know take your time and do it. But it's a it's a beautiful system to think that we are the creditors and the beneficiaries of money, and that there is an unlimited amount of it because we're just creating it anyway. And we don't. It's a beautiful way to have a medium of exchange so that people can have cars and houses and all the things they want. Like it's just stunningly beautiful. And dropping some of that ownership issues and stuff issues like gold is is a very good way forward in my mind. So I promote the hell out of the sovereign certificate trust. The idea that we um, are the authority, we are the authors, we are the authorized, authentic agents. You name it. Like it's just fun play with that AU word and put yourself in the gold. You're the gold.
Yeah, that's absolutely it. And I think we could probably, yeah, I think we could probably leave it there. I've been going minus the time we got cut off about 45 minutes or so, and yeah, I think it takes a little time for this to really digest in it and to go over the simplicity of what you talk about daily. Um, I know you're not a tech guy, but I'll make sure that we put your YouTube channel down below like I did before, so people can check out a little bit more where what you're talking about. But you also, if you could just mention a few other websites and things that people can do a little bit more digging if they want to, and if they want to go to that step of maybe uh, looking at a loyal titles and putting things under their common law trust if they want to look into that information, and I'll link it below as well.
Sure. So yeah, I'll I'll throw a few things out there. First off, like I think I'm getting better in my videos at keeping it clear. Because yesterday I put one up that was I think I got 430 hits already in a day, which is phenomenal for what I've been doing. And I don't know where that came out of. And it was whether it's the language I used or the title I used or what. But
Mm-hmm.
so that one's very good to. I think a lot of people, understood it or understood it. It was quite a good video. So yeah, if you link my YouTube channel, I'll just keep doing them every day. And then the First Republic Registrar Foundation, and I can send you a link if you like, Chris, on Messenger or something, so that you can put that link up. These fellows are very astute and beautiful people. There's lords and ladies, I shouldn't say fellows, and that's what we use. We use titles like that just because they did. There's no big deal. I'm Lord Randall Earl Kaiser in that realm. Well, big deal. Like I'm also Randall. I like to use 3 or 4 names, but it's all just me because it's that name deception is what kind of we have to make fun of that. Honestly, we do that they had our name and they used our name. Well, then stand up, tell them you're alive. And how you do that, there's umpteen different characters out there on the web that'll talk about that, from Anna von Reitz to you name it. And Anna and I are good friends. That's another recommended site to go to, Anna von Reitz. She's respected my kind of whimsical attitude I guess you could say, through all of this better than some of the others. And, some of the other people I deal with or have dealt with directly are Kim Gogoyan. She used to be called Mana World Holding Trust, and her and Stefan Rao, he's kind of one of her big promoters. Beautiful people, and some pretty left brain kind of material there, talking about galactics and stuff like that. But if you're into that, go visit Kim's stuff. Uh, my good friend Sasha Stone, like Sasha and I have been buddies for 5 years, and we banter a little bit back and forth on Facebook, but then we message each other. We got a call set up for Saturday to have a really good long chat about a new character that's come onto the scene lately, and that is Greg Hallett.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, I did it again. Greg Hallett, and he's claiming the throne. And good on you. Like, I don't run anybody down. I don't discredit anybody. I don't say, he's full of shit, any of that stuff. You make it work, buddy, and if it's good for everyone and everything, then you're the king. But we're going to have to talk about that, because kings are kind of live on the land, don't they? And what the hell are you going to do with this land? Because it's a long ways from England. And not that I want to be the king, don't get me wrong. But, those fairy tales about kings and queens just don't cut it for me. So come on, Greg, let's have a little chat. And we're working up towards that. He's a comical kind of a character too. If you're wanting to check some of his stuff out, Greg Hallett, Hallett, and he comes online and talks about how he's the new king and the queen's gone and all that kind of stuff. And it's a lot of fun. And like I say, I'm not discrediting it. I think it's a better story than what Lizzie had, so it's good. And he's a cool character. Who else would I recommend just off the top? I don't know. I guess that's probably good for now. We can do this again anytime, brother. Like, I enjoy telling stories. I enjoy telling the truth, and just downright cowboy common sense. Like, I don't do a lot of the paperwork in my business. Like, I've got people that do that. I'm kind of the cowboy in the kind of china shop, I guess. Like, I do the talking and walking and dive into things, and like I say, we're in the middle of the fiat system. We are manifesting credit, and it's a process, and it's very intricate, and it took a couple years to learn it, but we're in the middle of it. So once we get started, then we're kind of in the old boys club, so to speak. And once we get in there, they know me. It's not a very big group. Once you get at this level of banking, they know what I'm after, and that is abundance, sovereignty, and health for all, and humanitarian efforts, getting away from the idea of capitalism, moving more towards conscientious capitalism or creativism, that kind of language. And just for all, like, let's get our shit together and look after everybody. In Calgary, it's beautiful. I mean, honestly, I'm going to go there for another minute or two here, Chris. I'm starting to enjoy this now. So sorry.
Keep going, brother.
I'm going to dangle on for another minute or two, because people said to me when this con job, I always call it, I don't even use that language that they use. It's just a con job. When it all started, what are we going to do with the homeless people? Homeless people. There's no homeless people in Calgary. Has a place to go at night. And if they can stay away from their addictions, then they have nice places to go and reasonable prices and all the food and all the clothing they need. We are looked after very well by government, municipal, provincial, and federal, because the people in those organizations are good. Is there some nefarious stuff or some deception? And is that goofball Justin just a puppet for some, bunch of other goofballs that are trying to manipulate and exploit things? Yeah. But the people that are in his, government are good. And like I say, we have no poverty here. It's everyone is looked after. When people come up to me and ask me for money, and I'm like, buddy, we're all getting it from the same boat this day ever since the con job came in. So don't ask me. Go ask Justin for a little bit more if you need a little more. But the problem there lies with addictions, like so. But even there, we've still got drop-in centers. We've got places where those people that are down in the bottom of their lives can still get into and have a sleep and have a meal. So, you know, just fighting the government and saying they're bad and well, Queen's a lizard and all this kind of crap. Like, what the hell good is that going to do us? Like we got to think from a common sense level and look around. Open our eyes, and not just in North America. Germany and Russia are doing some amazing things right now. The Far East, I mean, China is the king of this credit system, and the numbers. They know their numbers, those boys. But other Southeast Asian nations, I could see by traveling there the challenges they have with hierarchy and, again, gold and stuff. They're caught up in the shiny things and the hierarchy of that. So we can help them with this fiat system. We don't have to do it in a communist fashion or in a, you know, you gave up your authority with the birth certificate fashion. We can do it in a sovereign fashion, in a sharing fashion, in a conscious fashion where, this beautiful setting that we have here in Calgary where there's no poverty spills off into Manila, because that was the first place that really shocked me into okay, Randall, you've had a pretty good life. Yeah, you went down and lost your property and stuff, but holy shit, these kids are getting up off a piece of cardboard that they slept on overnight asking you for money. Like, geez, my heart was just broken. And there's lots of them over there and all kinds of that in Africa as well. So, you know, my goal is to spread this throughout the world and not just let's not stay stuck in the Hollywood mainstream media or even alternative media of North America and Europe. Like, we got to open our minds to the whole big picture and keep that, consciousness expanding to all. So, another little rant. I'm in the mood, bro. A good mood, don't get me wrong, but I'm ready to even just keep talking. Like, I could fucking talk for 2 hours straight and fall down, like, I'm ready. And people that want to invite me to do that, bring it. Like, I'll talk. I'm ready to expose and just keep talking. And if you get it even from a few of the things that I'm saying, and great, then, you know, wonderful. Because we're here for peace, harmony, love, abundance, and freedom for everyone and everything every day. So there, well, let's chop her off whenever you want. And please add some more if you like.
Well, that's fantastic. I think we're going to leave it right there, and we'll do this again probably soon to talk about another level of this game, and break it down, further so people can, start watching some of the stuff that you're talking about, and we'll branch off to some of the other things that the other people that you mentioned, the other websites and stuff that I'll link below. And yeah, I think we'll just keep this conversation just slowly happening so people can to digest and really think about, why is this jolly guy talking to me in the first place. So let's leave it at that, and again, let's just hear your saying one more time, and we'll end it there. Thanks.
Well, let's do the abundance, sovereignty, and health for all one, because that one's a little shorter and I like it. Cheers, brother. I love you.
Cheers. Love you too.